Greetings, Frederick Riddle here, and we are here. I'm the host today of the Basic Authors Training Seminar. And we're going to be looking at a variety of things today. This is for the first session, and we'll be looking at the overview of the entire seminar, just to give you an idea of what to expect. And then in the second session, we will actually get down into it. But so we're going to start out here with the 4 W's. So we have the why. Why are you here today? Why? And the answer to that is obviously you want to be an author, or to improve your skills, or to get skills you don't even have yet. But what is your motive? So we'll put that over here. Your motive. Now, a motive can be a lot of different things. And I don't know your motives, but I'm going to have you do a little assignment here so that you can find out why you are here today. You may already have it all nailed down, but I want you to do it on paper. And so here's what my motives are. And these are mine. You can copy, use some that apply to you. But these are my motives, and I developed them some time ago, and they're pretty much in the order of importance to me. So my first motive would be God's calling. Now, not everybody has that. God doesn't call everybody, and that's probably a small percentage of those who are actually here in the seminar. But it could be all of you at the same time. But that's a definite call. You've gotten saved. You're serving the Lord in your local church somewhere, somehow. And then God calls you to service. He calls all of us to some kind of a service. When I say that God called me, this is a primary calling. This is a calling for me to write books, to promote the gospel in one way or another, either by fiction or nonfiction. I do it in both ways. So, God's calling. Another one that I have is is to along with that is actually a missions effort, and that is directly involved with God's calling. Another one that I have is called income. Now, there can be a lot of different things for income. In this particular case, is primarily for the support of God's calling, and which involves missions. Now, you could say that's all one, but I'm breaking it down here for you. Okay, here's another one that I have. Another calling, not calling, but motive I have, and that's to entertain. I like to, or storytell, I'm going to just say entertain. Going along with it could be instruct. I enjoy telling people, teaching people about the gospel. And I also enjoy telling stories, writing stories. And so all these are related, as you can see. But there are others that you might have. For instance, now, these that I'm going to add are not necessarily mine. But for instance, you might want, your motive you might want to have some fame, get popular, have people like you. You might want to have some power or influence. Another word for power would be influence. And these are different ones. So you have, I got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that I've already thought of. And so here's what your assignment is for you to do. I want you to take a sheet of paper and write down as many as you can think of. They don't have to be in any order at this point in time. Just write them down, as many as you can think of. And then take that's one sheet or one column on one sheet. And then the second column would be you take that list, that long list you got, and you pick out your top 3 and you put them in that shorter list. And put them in order if you want to. You don't have to, but that would be a third column. It's the first list, then the small list, and then you organize that into a priority list. Or you can just do it automatically in your head and put it down. Either way. So that's what I want you to do. While you're doing that, I'm going to clean up here. And what I would suggest is you turn the course off at this time. And then when you're done, you come back. See you in a minute. Okay, you are back. That's good. So what we have done now, we've established our motive. Well, that's not the only thing that we have here. The next W is what? And then this can deal with a lot of different topics. But it's sort of like the idea of what is it you want to learn as far as your business of writing is concerned. We're going to look at the word genre here. Don't let this word scare you. It's very similar, not exactly the same, but very similar to category. And so it's a category of writing. In my case, it's historical fiction, so we'll put that there. Historical fiction. Now I could just keep it short and say history. Excuse my writing there, I messed that up. It could be, but I'm starting out with historical fiction. Now this is what your next assignment is going to be. Your assignment is to go in and in your mind now, you may not have ever even thought of this, but you've probably got a story in mind, or you may have already started a story. So what I want you to do is I want you to identify in your mind the genre, the primary genre that you think you're under. Mine is historical fiction. Most of my stuff is. So on the fiction side especially. Now on the nonfiction side, it's more I deal with biblical doctrine. But that would be a genre there. But here it's historical fiction. And so this is what I want you to do. Whether or not you have Google as your host, to go into and do the internet and everything, what I want you to do is go into and make sure your search engine is Google. You can change it to Google, and then you can change it back. If you can't change it to Google, if you don't know how, that's not something I'd teach you here in this seminar. But you can try this on any search engine. I know that it works for Google, but you can try this. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in there and type in the search bar and go your genre that you think you have. And then, while you're doing that, before you ever get to the end, you're going to see a menu, a sub-menu drop down. And I don't want you to click on anything in there. I don't want you to click on it in any way, shape, or form at this point. I just want you to look at it so that you can see the different subgenres that are there. Pick one out that you like, and then add that to your name in the search bar. So in my case, it might come up Bible based. Bible based. Okay? So I would have there historical fiction Bible based, and it's just right in the search bar. Well, when you put that in there, another sub menu pops up, and so maybe I find in there. How about we'll look at how about Jacob, the Bible character. I could have actually put in the word Bible character too. So there's that is. And again, I put that on there. You're not hitting any, you're not clicking on anything at this point. And then when that happens, another submenu comes up, and I find the name Joseph. And so what you see now is I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've gone 4 deep. So I decided I'm going to stop there, and I click on Joseph. And that will now, the search engine will go to work and bring up a lot of material. At this point in time, we don't care what that is. The idea is that we are identifying our primary genre and some of your sub-genres. So what I want you to do is, again, pause this program, go in and make 2 lists. It can be on 1 sheet of paper, it can be 2 or 3 lists. The first list is everything, no order. Well, it's going to be an automatic order. So you write down that. Then you pick out the one that you want, the top 3 that you want. So in my case, it's a historical fiction, Bible-based, and then I would drop it all the way down to Joseph. So and that would be my priority order. So go ahead and do that, pause it, and when you get done, come back. Okay. Well, okay, so you're back. So that's good. So we've now identified our motive and at least 3 key genres. So the next thing you want to do is you want to identify where you can view this seminar, where you can write your book, where. And that's an easy one to answer, but it's part of the W's, so we're going to go there. And that would be your home. You could do it at the office if a boss lets you do it. You can do that anywhere you want to. But for the purposes of here, we'll do it at home. Next one is who. This is also an easy one. That's you. So we've established the motive for your being here. You've established the genre you're going to be writing in, where you're going to be writing, and who is going to be doing the writing. That's you. Now comes up to the last one. That's 4 W's. Now we come up with the H. How. And that's going to be B-A-T. Basic Authors Training. That is what this seminar is about, to explain, to teach you about how Basic Authors Training works. And in this first session, I'm going to give you 3 things. There are 3 things that cover that subject. When we get into it in the future sessions, there'll be more than 3 things, but there's 3 I want to get to. So number 1 on 1, and we're going to call that teaching / coaching. That's very important. It's one-on-one. So if you get into taking the course, you will be one-on-one with me. We will communicate a variety of different ways. I have available Zoom. I have available videos such as this that can be emailed to you. We'll be able to text and then really dire situations that you really need to talk to me right now, you'll have a phone number, although I think texting will work out better because sometimes you can get static and stuff on the phone, but the texting will be something that you'll be able to do. And so that is one-on-one coaching. And I'm going to go into that in the seminar because there's some things that I offer you there. There's at least 3 live coaching sessions in the course. That's a minimum of 3. They're the ones that are scheduled, but that doesn't mean it stops there. And there will be other coaching opportunities live like that. There will be also, like I said, texting and things of this nature that I want to be there for you. And the best way for that to do is for you to and I have good communications, and we can establish when we get together. We can establish. You can ask any kind of question you want about writing, and so that is my goal: is to teach and to coach you to be a successful and published author. Now number 2, we use what I call a 2-tier teaching platform, if you want to call it that. And basically what that is that let's put this on here. I teach you and coach you, but we'll just use the word teach here, while you are writing. Now, it may seem strange to you at this point in time, but the teaching and the writing don't necessarily jive with one another at this point. I am going to be teaching you different tools you can use, different rules of the road, and so on and so forth about writing. You're going to be writing your book. And in fact, I would encourage you to, even if you haven't started it yet, that you start it now, writing your book. Don't worry about, you can do minor editing, but we're going to get into editing later on. But you're going to start writing your book. And as we progress along, more and more, we will get, it's sort of like this. You start up here, go down, and start down here and go up. And in the end result is your book. That's the goal of this whole program, is for you to have a published book. And so we're going to work towards that. And these 2 lines will come together so that towards the end there, you're going to be going back and saying, hey, I that one rule, I think I want to use that. And you can go back and use it, and that's one of the part of the coaching and everything. Well, we'll work together for that. And then you'll get to the book, which brings up the 3rd thing. This is called our publishing and marketing. I'll just abbreviate that there. Package. Now, you do not have to be published by us. So this is the way I do it. You work on this, getting your book ready. If you complete all the lessons, and we get there to the point where you are published ready, then I will look at you, and I will look at your genre. I will look at it. Now, T&R Independent Books is a publisher, an indie publisher, which you'll understand later on. But we are a publisher that there are certain genres we do publish, and there are certain ones we don't. I'll probably let you know that as we go through, and you can certainly ask me if you think, well, this is the genre I want to write in. Do you do that? So we will discuss that. There may be an alternative. For instance, instead of science fiction, I might suggest to you futurism or futuristic. Same idea, but the futuristic actually eliminates your little green men, okay? But there's different options that you can go. So you want to discover that. and you'll be working towards getting all the meeting all the criteria, everything. When you get to that point of published, ready, then I will say, okay, we would like to publish your book. Like I said, you don't have to. We would like to publish your book. Now I can see that it's published ready. I know what you want. I know what your aims are. I know a great deal about you and your motives, what you dream about as far as this book goes. I want to be a part of that, so I want to publish your book for you. Does that add on more money? Not this. The basic author's training is paid for either upfront or by subscription. That pays for everything. The only payment that will come to, and we will deal with this, is there will be a per book cost for printing the book, and actually printing and marketing the book. That is a very small fraction of money that will actually be buried in the author's cost. The author's cost is considerably less than what you are able to charge for that book. So anything over that is going to be total profit. Some people say indie authors can only make 10% or 20% or 30%. No, you can do a whole lot better than that. And so we will get into that, the publishing and marketing. The marketing aspect is limited, but it is there, and not every publisher offers this, especially not the way I'm doing it. And so that is something that I will explain. In fact, that will be in session 6 here in the seminar. We'll get into that. So here you have it. Your motive, your genre, where you're going to work, who, that's you, and then how basic authors training will work. The things that I'm going to look at, some of the topics that will be covered in the course, and we'll also cover the costs and how you can do that. By the way, I almost always have some kind of a sale going on at one time or another, and so that will also be applied not just to my books, but to the course as well. So that is where we are at right now. I want you to take a deep breath, and if you haven't started writing, but I encourage you, if you have a story running around in your head, start writing it down now. In fact, one of the things we're going to be looking at is plotting. So do you know your plot? Do you have some idea of what your plot is? Oh, write it down. I want you to get in the habit of writing things down. And then that way we will be able to have a guide. Your plot is going to be not only how everything fits in the story, but how we just work together and everything. So it's going to be involved in everything. And so I would encourage you to start writing that down. And if you've already got the plot written down, then try writing your first chapter or something of that nature. One of the things that we're going to be looking at in the future, we might, in the course itself, you might even send me 2 or 3 chapters just so that I can get a feel for your book. And also that I can go through it and do some editing with your approval. It's always going to be with your approval. I will explain things, why I want to do something, why I think something should be done. If there's a rule, a writing rule or something, I'll explain it to you and what your options are, and then you end up making the choice. That's a very important thing. When I got into writing, I didn't have those choices. That went the way the publisher wanted to go. And so, but this is your book. It is the product of your mind, your labor, your energy, your thought processes, everything. So you should have a decision. You should have authority in how this goes forward. And so I'm looking forward to this seminar, and session 2 is the next one. And we're going to be getting into genre a little bit deeper, review a little bit of that. But we're going to get going real quick, and I haven't decided yet on how many topics we'll cover, but it's designed for 2 days. You do not have to do it for 2 days. If you want to sit down and do every video that we have, there's going to be at least 6, then you go ahead. If you want to spread it out and do it over 3, 4, 5 days, go ahead. You don't have to. You're not in a building here with me, so you're not tying me up. Do it at your pace, what you are comfortable with. And you might want to copy it, and I would suggest you download it onto your computer and have access to it as often as you want. And you can come back to these things and review some of the things that I give you. I've already given you some coaching tips, and you actually did the work. At least I trust you did. And so let's look forward to that next session. See you there.